No, I think the outlook for Pakistan-India relations remains a very troubled one. It's also marked by great uncertainty. I don't see any forward movement really in any area. In fact, recently has been added to long-standing disputes between the two countries. The Indian threat to alter or amend the Indus Water Treaty of 1960, which has stood the test of time. And in fact, it has survived wars and tensions between the two countries. But now, since January, India has been threatening to amend the treaty. So, we see new problems in the relationship rather than an easing of tensions between the two. So, I really don't see either a resumption of any dialogue or a resumption of the peace process or movement in any area, whether that area is a political area, diplomatic area, or it's a cultural trade area. The situation on the ground in occupied Jammu and Kashmir remains very, very serious. As you probably know, India has in the last 2 years carried out far-reaching electoral, demographic, and changes in the law there, which aim to disempower and dispossess Kashmiri Muslims. Now, given that backdrop, it is very hard to see how a movement can be made. And I don't think one should see the foreign minister's visit to attend SCO as reflecting any change in Pakistan's principled position on Jammu and Kashmir. That remains the case. Pakistan continues to insist that India rescind its action of August 2019 to create the right atmosphere for a resumption of dialogue. India, on the other hand, as you've probably seen from statements made by the foreign minister only recently, keeps repeating the mantra of terrorism, terrorism, terrorism. That's all they say. And of course, they have now refused to talk about Kashmir. So, in this environment, it is very hard in Pakistan and India in the relationship.
The opportunities are really limitless. We are neighbors. And it's not that Pakistan is a small nation, a nation of 220 or maybe 250 million people. It's in sheer population, it's more than every single country in Europe. It may be having some economic problems right now, but these are of temporary nature. I have always regarded Pakistan as an economic miracle in the making. Just as India is progressing, India has now become the 5th largest economy in the world, and the day is not far when we will overtake even Germany to become the 4th largest, and after some years we will overtake Japan to become the 3rd largest. But that does not in the least mean that India alone has the potential in South Asia to go forward. Every single country in South Asia has huge human resource, natural resource, of course, cultural resource. So we in India, we keenly desire that Pakistan also prospers. And for this prosperity, it's extremely important as neighbors, India and Pakistan should open all the doors for trade, cooperation, business cooperation, investments, which will benefit both of us. It's not that only India will benefit, Pakistan will also benefit. Unfortunately, the numbers as of now are very depressing. The bilateral trade, direct bilateral trade between India and Pakistan is as paltry as less than $400 million. Just to put this in perspective, we should remember that India-China bilateral trade has touched $135 billion. And it's not that India-China relations, political relations are good. Not at all. We are right now in a very serious crisis because of the border problem. But in spite of this very tense border problem between India and China, our trade is soaring. It has As I mentioned, it's $135 billion, and we import more than $100 billion. More than $100 billion is what we import from China. So if we can have such excellent trade relations with China, why not with Pakistan? Our industrialists are doing very well in several sectors of the economy, like information technology, pharmacy, automobiles, chemicals, heavy engineering, infrastructure development. We can invest in Pakistan. Similarly, Pakistan is so good in so many areas. So therefore, I very strongly believe that we should no longer have any of these barriers between India and Pakistan in terms of trade, business relations, which will create employment in India, employment in Pakistan.
Look, we took a decision, a principled decision post 5th August 2019. We downgraded our relations, we stopped doing bilateral trade with India. We also took some other measures which were not sustainable even then, but in any case, we downgraded our relations. If you go through the Indian media and official statements, there is desire in New Delhi to see Pakistan-India relations, or actually diplomatic relations, be upgraded in the sense that we send high commissioners to each other's capitals. But the question is that if you do trade, again, get into confidence building measures, I do not know how would that help to resolving our core issue, because this mutual hostility between our two countries, in my considered view, cannot be softened unless, or cannot be removed from the Pakistan-India landscape, diplomatic political landscape, unless the Jammu and Kashmir dispute is resolved. It is as simple as that. We have been trying many approaches in the past. Nothing really has worked so far. So my own view is that resuming trade, by the way, we are still doing trade with India via Dubai, and there is a statement by the Indian Minister of State in Lok Sabha that India is exporting worth $1 billion worth of goods to Pakistan. But that is being done via Dubai or other third countries. So the question remains that what our priorities are, what our bottom lines are. Once we are clear and we approach the entire relationship with clarity, with the sense of purposeness, I think we can then take decisions. But as of today, I do not see as to how, first, without upgrading your relations at the High Commissioner's level, how can you resume the trade between the two countries? All these things are interlinked. And our present position is directly linked to what happened on 5th August 2019.